Hello and thanks for joining us. This is Signature TV 30 Minutes. I am Nwabuoze Njoku welcoming you to the program, and in the headlines for today, House of Representatives asks National Communications Commission to extend deadline on blocking of SIM cards without national identification numbers. Suspected herdsman kills 3 people in Benue State. The World Health Organization urges use of masks during Christmas celebrations. And now for the details of the stories. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Wednesday presided over the week's Federal Executive Council meeting, FEC, at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. However, President Muhammadu Buhari, who traveled to Daura, Katsina State last week, Friday, participated virtually in the meeting. The meeting was physically attended by 13 ministers, which include Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, Education, Adamu, Agriculture, Sabo Nanuno, Finance, Budget, National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Pantami, and Aviation, Hadi Sirika. Other ministers that were present include Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi. Other ministers were that of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi retired, Environment, Mohammed Abubakar, Police Affairs, Maigari Dingyadi, Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Timipriya Silva, and Minister of State for the Environment, Sharon Ikbazo. Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, was also physically present. The Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund Office, Habiba Lawal, represented the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who is self-isolating with his spouse after some members of his family tested positive for COVID-19. The head of service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieso, and other ministers participated from the various offices in Abuja. The House of Representatives has asked the National Communications Commission (NCC) to extend the 31st December deadline issued to SIM card owners to submit their National Identification Numbers (NIN) to their network providers to prevent blocking. The motion was moved on Wednesday during plenary by the House Minority Leader Ndude Elumelu. According to the lawmaker, 2 weeks is too short for 200 million Nigerians to conclude the process. The House lauded the intention of the National Communications Commission for security reasons, but wants the process to be extended to 10 weeks, considering the difficulty experienced by Nigerians in obtaining the NIN. The federal government on Tuesday issued an ultimatum to all telecommunications operators in the country to block all subscriber identification modules, SIM cards, without National Identification Number, NIN. It also ordered the network operators to ask all their subscribers to provide valid NIN to update their records and suspend SIM registration. The National Assembly announced on Wednesday that it would hold an emergency session on Monday to consider and pass the 2021 appropriation bill before proceeding on its Christmas and New Year break on the same day. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, who announced the development at plenary on Wednesday, said the delay was to accommodate fresh demands from the executive arm of the government. Regarding the fiscal document, the federal government had on Tuesday written the National Assembly to demand a fresh review of the 2020 Appropriation Act. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, particularly asked the National Assembly to extend the expiration date of the capital component of the 2020 budget. Lawan told his colleagues that the Parliament resolved to take certain legislative decisions in order to ensure the January to December budget cycle. He said there was a late request for some more expenditure from the executive arm of government, and we want to ensure our committees produce a very clean document so they can present the report on Wednesday, he said. A human rights activist, Maxwell Opu, has identified ignorance, poverty, and delay in administration of justice as some of the challenges working against the enforcement of human rights in Nigeria. Opu was speaking in Abuja on Wednesday at the launch of his book, Understanding the Procedural Application of Fundamental Rights. Maxwell Opu, who is a lawyer and rights activist, called on the media, civil society organizations, and security agencies to collaborate and put issues of human rights in the public space. He said such collaboration will put all stakeholders on their toes and help in protecting the rights of Nigerians.
The way forward is the media. The way forward is the lawyers. We should come up and say no to it. So it is encompassing the parents, the lawyers, the police, the media, we lawyers. Everybody is involved. Most of the times when they took the person to hospital, the human right violator will rush to the hospital and bribe the doctor to give a useless and unfavorable report. The hospital, the doctor is also involved. So everybody is encompassing.
The chief launcher of the book, Dr. Charles Ugomo, a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, recommended the effective implementation of community policing as one method of protecting the rights of Nigerians. He, however, said that for community policing to achieve the protection of the rights of Nigerians, the curriculum for police training must be reviewed to accommodate respect for the citizens.
The issue of human rights and the rule of law is the base for any good governance. And for Maxwell Opu to have delved into it, I think he has a great chance for good governance. I think that's why police is calling for community policing. And I think there should be for training and retraining in the Nigerian police force. Actually, we want a situation whereby there should be police should be able to respect the citizenry. And the citizenry needs to trust the police, have confidence in the police, and then the job will be well done.
Chairman of the book presentation, Professor Godwin Owo, while commending the author, observed that power is like a revolving door and must show anybody in the power room the exit someday. He called on those in authority to respect the rights of others and queried the criteria for conferring the privilege of senior advocates of Nigeria on lawyers, some of who, he said, have not contributed to expanding the bounds of jurisprudence nor humanizing law in Nigeria.
This book is a book which time has come. It's a book that we are recommending for schools, universities, research institutes, foundations that are based on good governance, economic growth and development. Upcoming youths to actually look at what the issues are and drive it. Then for those who today drive the economy, who today drive the politics, because it's a revolving door. By the time we understand and appreciate the fact that life, positions, is revolving, and I think that is what the erudite barrister has done.
The reviewer of the book, Paul Dowder, a lawyer, described the book as a needed literature as Nigeria faces human rights crossroads.
What the author has done in 194 pages of literature is to create a channel for intellectual exchange. We say we're a democracy, but the citizenry experience on a day-to-day basis bottlenecks with regards to access to justice and procedural and technical issues that do not allow them enforce their basic and inalienable rights. Police brutality and intimidation of the masses is on the increase. And as it seems, the mechanisms available for the citizenry to hold those in public service accountable really appear to be weak. Many human rights activists, we have journalists here, they can testify to this, in recent times have been harassed and exposed to criminal trial and outright persecution for simply airing contrary views or criticism against conduct or policies of those in power. The book is indeed an embodiment of the saying, knowledge is power.
The 194-page book presented to the public on Wednesday attracted notable personalities, including former Permanent Secretary of the Federal Capital Territory, Chief Johnny Chukwu, notable lawyers, the human rights community, and the media. The Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has emerged victorious in a case challenging his candidacy of the All Progressives Congress APC in the October 10th governorship election in the state. Justice Okonaban of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday dismissed the suit challenging Akeredolu's candidacy. Aban ruled that the petitioner, Dr. Nat Adejudelekon, filed the case out of time. He added that the suit was a pre-primary election matter because of the dependence on a pending suit. The case was subsequently dismissed as lacking in merit, and the cost of 120,000 naira was awarded against Dr. Adejudelekon, who, along with others, lost the primary election to Akeredolu, had challenged the result of the primaries. A gas pipeline leakage along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has caused panic among residents of the Arekpo, Magboro, and other neighboring communities. The pipeline, which is located close to the Punch newspapers company, was ruptured while Julius Berger was carrying out construction works in the Arekpo area of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Wednesday. As of the time of filing this report, emergency responders have turned off the gas, stopping the leakage. Emergency responders from LASEMA Response Unit, Nigeria Road Safety Corps, that is the Federal Rescue Commission, the Federal Fire Service, and the Nigerian Police Force were still at the scene. Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Commission, in a statement signed by the Corridor Commander, Lagos-Ibadan Egbeda Corridor, Kehinde Hamzat, has advised motorists to take alternative routes. 3 persons, including a lawyer and his wife, have been killed by suspected herdsmen following an attack at Agbogul in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. The incident, according to residents, occurred in the early hours of Wednesday morning. The lawyer was identified as Moses Odam. This attack comes a few days after 4 persons were killed and 7 others seriously injured by suspected herdsmen at Sa Agbande, a suburb of Makurdi. The incidents have created anxiety with fear of renewed attacks by herdsmen. Governor Samuel Otom of the state, in reaction, condemned the killings. He asked the federal government to step up plans and strategies to stamp out terrorism and armed herdsmen who have been terrorizing the state since 2009 and have refused to obey the state open grazing prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law of 2017. He expressed worry over the violent herdsmen targeting of the men of the agro rangers and the state livestock guard operatives. Now to some business stories for this Wednesday. The Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, has presented a budget proposal of 123 billion 91,307,468 naira to the House of Assembly. The governor described the fiscal document as a product of wide consultations with the electorate and designed to reflect current economic challenges. The budget is 54% recurrent expenditure and 46% capital expenditure. The governor hinted at the possibility of the administration taking a bond to finance key infrastructure projects later in the year. Speaker of the State Assembly, Salihu Yakubu Danladi, commended the administration for the faithful implementation of the 2020 budget and commendable infrastructure strides despite the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now let's look at the stock market report. Equity capitalization maintained an upward move at the close of business on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Wednesday. Now, since Monday, the market capitalization had been moving upwards after 5 days of consecutive fall. On Wednesday, market capitalization rose to 18.56 trillion naira from 18.42 trillion on Tuesday. This was a 140.04 billion naira increase. The all-share index also closed blue, rising from 35,225.22 to 35,493.15, a 0.79% rise. Now, the total number of stocks that exchanged hands rose from 264.25 million to 650.55, a 146% increase. The value closed at 2.28 billion naira, and the total number of deals closed at 4,354. On the activity chart, there were 40 gainers and 13 losers. Mansard PLC was on top of the gainers side, while Connest led the laggards. Zenith Bank stock was the most traded, having 90.34 million shares in 394 deals. Dangote Sugar also traded 14.26 million shares, valued at 257.64 million naira, to stand second behind Zenith Bank. Now, the University of Ibadan has shut down its health facility, Jaja Clinic, after one patient tested positive for COVID-19. The institution announced the development in a statement issued on Tuesday, noting that the clinic will be closed for 1 week, beginning at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. The patient, whose name was not given, was said to have first visited the clinic on December the 11th, but was admitted overnight between Sunday and Monday. The institution added that the Oyo State Emergency Operations Center has been notified and the premises have been decontaminated. Now let's look at what's happening on the foreign scene. The World Health Organization in Europe warned on Wednesday of a further resurgence of COVID-19 in early 2021, as it urged families to wear face masks during this year's Christmas gatherings. The UN Health Organization said in a statement that while some fragile progress has been made, COVID-19 transmission across the entire Europe remains widespread and intense. It urged the public not to underestimate the importance of your decisions and take extra precautions as many prepare to gather for the holidays. If possible, the WHO said celebrations should be held outdoors and participants should wear masks and maintain physical distancing. Now, for indoor festivities, the World Health Organization said limiting the number of guests and ensuring good ventilation were key to reducing the risk of infection. Now, for sports stories for this Wednesday, Real Madrid coach Zinedine Zidane hailed Karim Benzema as the best centre-forward in French history after his match-winning double against Athletic Bilbao put them joint top of La Liga on Tuesday. Bilbao's Andy Kappa had cancelled out Toni Kroger's thumping strike before Benzema, 32, struck twice, later on heading home a cross with 16 minutes remaining and finishing clinically in stoppage time from Luka Modric's pass. After all, Zidane had no hesitation in declaring Benzema as France's best ever centre-forward, putting him at the top of the list that includes Thierry Henry, Kylian Mbappe, Jean-Pierre Papin, and Just Fontaine. Benzema arrived at Real Madrid from Lyon in 2009 but was long overshadowed by Cristiano Ronaldo until the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner moved to Juventus in 2018. On Saturday, Benzema's 529th match for Real Madrid broke Roberto Carlos's record. On Saturday, Benzema's 529th match for Real Madrid broke Roberto Carlos's record for the most appearances by a non-Spanish player. Benzema is also their top scorer for this season. Please, as the World Health Organization has said, do well to stay safe, maintain physical and social distance, and wear your face mask while going about your daily activities. That is Signature TV 30 minutes. On behalf of my producer, Damilola Abudu, I remain yours sincerely, Nwaboze Nchoko. Thanks for watching. Good evening.